Yeah, I know. Just before the break there, I said something called marriage privilege. Until this morning, I'd never heard of the term. But Paige McPherson is here to explain what marriage privilege is. And maybe we'll discuss why it's important.
I think it's really the new frontier of political correctness. So we've heard of white privilege, male privilege. If you're a white Christian male, then you happen to be the most privileged. And often people will tell you to check your privilege when you're sharing your opinion about something or when you're trying to partake in some sort of a discussion.
As if you're better than everybody else?
As if you come from a place in society that has unearned, so you did nothing to earn it, and unknowing privilege. So you are influenced by having a privileged place in society, and therefore you don't have the same sort of rugged, holistic experiences that everybody else in society has, people who are not privileged, and therefore you need to check your privilege before you think something, before you say something.
So, okay, so men do that, can be accused of that all the time.
Yes, it happens a lot, and we've heard of, right, like I said, white
or
privilege, male
white
privilege,
yeah,
exactly, right? And so, you know, I do think that we have come to a place where we would probably, as a society, actively try not to discriminate against people who are black that have been discriminated against in the past. This, however, I think is pushing it a little bit further than that. This is married privilege. So this is the idea that people who are married or coupled up in general come from a place of privilege that people who are single do not have. They don't have that experience, and therefore there should be something called singleism. And in fact, there are actually scholars that talk about this. Mostly, there's 2 women out of the U.S. that have written a blog post about this, and about having to check your married privilege.
Is one of them this Bella DiPaolo?
That is one of them.
She wrote Singled Out, Singleism, right, and asked the question, I read this, I went, do you, married person, take these unearned privileges for better or for better? Like, hello?
That's the idea. So that's the blog post in question that has sort of picked up speed, yeah. And she has written 2 books. So actually this Bella DiPaolo, she's actually made quite an industry for herself, a career for herself out of talking about singleism and how single people are discriminated against. So in this article in question, she talks about the different ways that they're discriminated against single people. So first of all, there are the advertising. So a lot of ads will target towards couples. For example, she specifically uses the example of retirement advertisements that show a couple who's old, seniors, holding hands on a beach.
Right.
That's discriminatory against single people. She also talks about romantic comedies. In movies, you've always got somebody, they're single and they just want to find somebody, and then at the end when they find somebody, they're happy. That is married privilege. That is discriminatory against singles or singleism. She also talks about, I think, to be fair, some more sensible things, such as the tax code. There are some ways in which in North America, in both the States and in Canada, the tax codes are structured in some ways to benefit people who are coupled up.
Oh, that's true in the States, not true in Canada.
They're so true, more true in the States, but I have a Canadian example, but it's only for people with kids. So income splitting. That's what came to mind for me.
That's brand new. It's not like an inherited, yep. It's not a...
No, you're absolutely
right. And we voted it in, for goodness sake. It's not, we earned that as married people. We earned that by putting that into government.
That is true. And perhaps you could say the same for, you know, policies that benefit married people in the States as well, that those are policies that are brought in by politicians they elect, and therefore maybe it is earned. But I think, okay, to be completely fair, I think that you should, let's look at income splitting. This is only for people with children, that's fine. That is something that does benefit married or common law, people who are coupled up and living together. And so I think that is legitimate. That's a way that you could say perhaps singles are discriminated against. But then there are other things, and this is true in the States as well. There are tax policies that benefit single people as well, such as the eligible dependent credit that's in Canada. That's for a single parent or a divorced parent. So you can receive that, and these are of course only for children, people with children rather. But these are, you know, you look at the ones that benefit married people, but then on the other hand, there are ones that benefit single parents as well. There are ones that benefit single people as well. And I would never argue that a broad-based income tax cut, for example, that benefits everyone is not better than income splitting, because I do think a broad-based income tax cut is better, but tax cuts are good regardless. And that's, maybe you could say that's unfair, but is that discrimination? Does it involve its entire area of study that universities should specialize in, singleism?
No. A quick answer, no. Here's the thing. I'm looking at some of the stuff she's posting. You know,
right.
She gives the example of a greeting card. You know, when somebody dies or something, and it says "our sympathies,"
right.
You know, well, she assumes it refers to a couple. Maybe it does. Maybe there's a couple. It could be everybody at the office. It could be all their group of friends that signed the card.
Myself and my sister.
It's our. But she says, no, that's discrimination against signals. Hello? It's, you know, like she's taking it to the nth degree.
No, I
Here's
agree.
my question of you then, okay? Are you married?
No.
Okay, then I am married, so I have that bias, right? Did you feel pressure, given that you used to be a single person, well, you are currently a single person, do you feel that you will get advantage by becoming married?
I feel that when I moved in, so I am engaged, so that I guess I have sort of a half privilege flag here. But I think that there are benefits to moving in together in that you can
Well, you
cost
save money,
share.
it's economic.
But in society, absolutely not. No. Actually, to be honest with you, if anything, people, I think, look at young women who are in the position where they get married or engaged and they say, oh, you might be a little bit young for that. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that. And there's that sort of an element playing out as well. Now, would I say that that's discrimination against me? No. Do I think that my single friends are discriminated against? No. I think that this is a case of, like, you know, people who talk about privilege in every aspect of their lives, which is generally relegated to university campus bubbles, not in the real world. But sometimes these articles do creep out.
And they are privileged in that they can go to the university in the first place.
Of course. That they can write a book, that they're making money off of this as their career, of course. But I think that it's people who want to complain. But let's... Whiners. And let's talk about what privilege actually means. It's what it really practically, its role in society is to shut you up. It's to say your opinion doesn't matter as much as my opinion because you are privileged. So whatever you think, whatever you have earned in life,
you don't walk the walk.
You are, yes, I mean, and I have been told, actually on this station, that because of white privilege, I probably didn't earn my job as much as somebody who isn't white, who has the same job. And so the idea is to make the person then feel shame or feel that they didn't earn or their contribution doesn't matter.
You earned it all, Paige.
But it's ironic because the whole concept of privilege is that other people have been shamed. So we in turn have to push the shame. We don't want a society of victims here.
We do not. Paige McPherson. Get married soon. It's better for you.